Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about my survival pack. This is what I carry. Try to carry it everywhere that I go. This is made by 511. Well, let's start right here. We'll go over the items that over many years of playing in the outdoors, things that I have decided that whether I'm traveling or if I'm in the outdoors, obviously can't take this on an airplane, you'll see why, but if I'm traveling around in a car or I'm in the woods or playing or hunting or anything else, I usually have this kit close by. The first and more important thing that I carry is a handgun. I always have a handgun close. I have a permit for it, and I always have it close. This compartment contains a lot of the stuff that most people would never think about. Today, I was on a trip yesterday in the woods, and so I have a pair of binoculars, which I don't always carry, but sometimes I do, especially if I'm going to be in the woods. The other thing in the woods is to always carry a roll of tape. There's always a time when you're always going to need to find where you put something, where you mark a spot, where something happened, where you lost something, where you left something. Yesterday, I decided to take the windshield off my ATV after I got out in the woods, realized that the dirt was coming in behind it real bad, and we were just eating a whole bunch of dust. So other than go all the way back, I pulled over, I took the windshield off, I put a piece of tape on a tree and hid it down off the bank so that nobody could see it. And then when I came back, I looked for the orange tape for where we should be, where I left it. So you have that. I always carry a pair of spare reading glasses. A lot of times you might have a contact go out, might have lose a contact or lose your glasses or whatever, and I always have an extra pair of glasses. This is kind of an interesting thing. I've only used it a few times in my life, but it is kind of interesting. This is an ultraviolet flashlight, and a lot of times, and a few times that I have used it, I have found that what it does is things show up with it that don't show up with a regular flashlight. So sometimes maybe you're looking for a contact lens or something on the carpet. This might work where a flashlight won't. The next thing I carry is a multi-tool, and I always have a multi-tool with me. This particular one is based on a pair of pliers, and then there's knives and all kind of other stuff that are in there with it. The next item is a pen. This is a space pen. And I don't carry them everywhere, but I always have one in my pack. If you ever have to write a note that you're going to have to leave in the woods, or you're going to leave and there's a chance that it'll get wet, this is a waterproof ink, and it will write in any position. So I always have a space pen with me. Then of course pen and pencil and a Sharpie. One of the things that you'll always find is that if you need to leave a note for someone, or a note on a car, or a note of any kind, you can usually find a piece of paper or something to write on, but it's always good to have a big Sharpie so that you can leave a message. The other thing I carry, again, not always legal, but I always carry a set of lockpicks. You never know when you're going to get stuck behind a gate. You could be on a hunting trip and have gone through a gate that was open, not realized it, went through a gate that was open, and by the time you got back, the gate had been locked. A set of lockpicks will usually get you out. And the thing that I carry is I always carry this little high intensity flashlight. It uses those little one size 1, 2, 3 lithium batteries. Very, very bright. See? What's down here? Oh, I always carry a good knife. This one again, not sure you'd want to talk about this at church, but this is switchblade. The other thing that people don't think about is, what about the time that you might come on somebody that needs rescuing? Don't know whether maybe they're out and they've rolled a car off into a ditch or any number of things, and this is something that I've learned to carry a long time ago. This is called a throw rope. And basically what it is, it's a 50-foot rope, about a 3/8 rope, that lives in this bag. And it has a loop on this end, and then it has this that you put around your arm. But basically what you do with this is you release this, and then you hold on to this like that, actually, and then you hold on to this, and then you swing this around as fast as you can, and then you let go of the strap. And what happens is the weight of the rope pulls this thing out and extends it all the way 50 foot out. So the idea of this is that you can throw a rope to somebody in the water. You can throw, if they happen to fall across some kind of a divide that you don't want to cross, you can throw it across. These are called throwable ropes. Always have one in every backpack. This one I looked far and wide to find a fairly small one that would fit into this small backpack. The next section has a few other items. Usually for years I carry a bigger backpack if I'm hunting or in the woods, and I always carry a tomahawk. A tomahawk is a hatchet about this long, has a slicing blade on one end or a cutting blade on one end, and on the back side of that is a pick that'll break a window. It'll cut through metal siding. It'll do all kinds of very useful tool if you've got to kind of disassemble something with violence. In this pack, I decided to go with a little smaller version. This is my kind of little tomahawk, and it basically is just a small hatchet, and it also has a knife in it that pulls out from the bottom. But this is again, if you've got to get somebody out, break a window, get somebody out of a car, cut somebody out of something, always good to have a good chopping hammer type tool with you. The other thing that I carry is another knife, a little bit different knife than the folding knife, but I carry, these are basically throwable, but this is a high quality knife. You can wear it around your neck, you can hide it, but I always carry this as well. Always a map and a compass. This is a map of where we were the other day, and I always carry a compass so that between the compass and the map and my Boy Scout training, I can usually find out where I am. Another thing that I carry that might be a little bit more controversial, if it could be more controversial than a handgun and a switchblade, is I have a nice pewter flask, and what's in it is really good Scotch whiskey. And it kind of serves three purposes. The most likely, or one purpose would be that you got in a situation where you wanted to drink some nice Scotch whiskey. But there's two other things that this will do for you. Three other things. One of the things is what you have is a really good disinfectant. If somebody were cut up, you could, and you knew that there was infection possible, this is 40% alcohol, 45% alcohol, works as a disinfectant. The other thing it does is it's also an anesthetic. So if something were to happen, somebody got hurt real bad and needed some pain medication really quick, that's also, Scotch works good for that. And the other thing is if you needed some kind of a flask to carry water or gasoline or some other liquid from one place to another, you could, God forbid, dump the good Scotch on the ground and use the flask for transporting some other type of liquid that you might need to do. So again, drink it, use it as a disinfectant. It's also an anesthetic. It also kind of makes the pain go away if you're dealing with something great pain. The issue with this is it is an open container because it doesn't have a seal on it. I'm figuring that I could talk my way out of that, being that it's always full and never been a drink taken out of it. But I do carry that, and for those reasons. Thank you very much for listening.